Good evening, boxing fans, and welcome back. Rummy's my name, and not knowing shit about boxing is my game. This is Rummy's Corner. You know, it was just this past weekend when boxing fans were in for a real treat when pound-for-pound elites Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward did battle in a close and competitive bout that was also ultimately controversial when Andre Ward was awarded a unanimous decision victory in a bout many felt Kovalev deserved to win. Regardless of your opinion on who won though, this was a really good fight for boxing, a real treat. And here we are just a week later, and boxing fans may once again be in for a real treat when former two-time gold medalist Vasyl Lomachenko defends his 130-pound WBO title against Nicholas Walters in what's sure to be a bout that brings fireworks for the fans. For Lomachenko, it feels like a really long time ago now that he was having his second professional fight going up against seasoned veteran Orlando Salido in a bout he fell short, he lost, and since that time he strung together 5 consecutive victories where he seems to continue to improve each and every time out, becoming a more and more seasoned professional, which is really quite marvelous when you consider the fact he's only had 7 professional fights. And in his most recent bout, he looked sensational against Roman Martinez to win the WBO title, becoming the fastest fighter ever to win a major world championship in multiple weight classes. Lomachenko ultimately finished Martinez with a beautiful uppercut right hook combination that effectively ended the fight, and he looked as good as ever that night. On the other hand, for Walters, it seems like a very long time ago when he was scoring sensational knockout victories against the likes of Vic Darchinyan and Nonito Donaire. And since that time, Walters hasn't really done too much of note. His last fight was back in December of last year, where he had a controversial draw against Jason Sosa in a bout that most people felt that not only did Walters deserve to win the bout, but that he deserved to win handily, but for whatever reason, that's not how it turned out. The fight was ruled a draw, and he hasn't fought since. And here they both are prepared for this weekend to do battle. And this is a really awesome clash of styles and a really interesting matchup coming up here, folks. Both of these guys do a lot of things well, and they do a lot of the same things very well. They fight differently, they have different styles, they fight at different rhythms, but despite their differences, both of these guys do a lot of things well, and they actually do a lot of the same things very well. So for Lomachenko, one of his best assets is his outstanding footwork. Lomachenko really has excellent footwork. He knows where to be, he knows how to get there, and he's always positioned properly. And he kind of has a bit of flashy footwork too. Walters, on the other hand, his footwork isn't so flashy. But what he lacks in flash, he more than makes up for in efficiency. Because like Lomachenko, he knows where to be positioned to ultimately maximize his offense while minimizing incoming fire. So both of these guys have outstanding footwork. They work about it a little differently in terms of what they want to do with positioning, but both of these guys have great footwork. And both of these guys also have an outstanding punching variety. Lomachenko, being the southpaw, he has an excellent right jab. Walters, coming out of the conventional stance, he has a terrific orthodox left jab. Both of these guys throw very good straight crosses. Both of these guys have excellent hooks. For Lomachenko, he has a nice, fast, crisp right hook. And Walters, he throws a nice, snappy left hook that is very accurate. Both of these guys throw good uppercuts, and both of these guys mix their punches up well. They're both good at throwing combinations, and they're both very good at working the body as well. And beyond that, both of these guys are multi-talented fighters in the sense that they can fight well on the outside, They can both fight well on the inside, and they're also both good at mid-range while they're closing range or while their opponent is trying to close the range. So these guys are basically good at what they do at a variety of different ranges. And these are things that I think most fans already realized about Lomachenko, but maybe not so much when it comes to Walters, who is kind of viewed as more of a dynamic, explosive, athletic puncher type. But in terms of skills and in terms of ring IQ, Lomachenko probably is a better skilled fighter with a higher ring IQ. And when you look at his incredible amateur accolades, you gotta say that he might even be the more experienced fighter despite having less fights as a professional. But these are all things. Nicholas Walters, he's no pushover himself. This guy knows what he's doing inside the squared circle. And despite the draw and the inactivity over the last year, I think he probably poses a much tougher challenge for Lomachenko than many seem to realize. At the end of the day, I do believe Lomachenko is probably the better, smarter fighter of the two. And I'd also add that since making the move to 130, it appears that maybe Walters' power isn't quite what it was down at 126. So for my official prediction, I am going to take Lomachenko to win via points, probably a unanimous decision, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be easy. And I think he's going to have to overcome some adversity on the way in order to accomplish this. I think Walters is going to have more than his fair share of moments, and Lomachenko may even have a few scares along the way. I think we have another close and competitive matchup on our hands, just like the one we saw last week, where I'm hoping that boxing fans truly are in for another treat this weekend. This is Rummy. Thank you for tuning in. Please stay tuned for more episodes in the future. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed to my channel, I do thank you for your support. And like I said, I'll be back soon. Thank you very much, everybody, and you all have a great night.